Hey, real estate besties. Today is Tuesday, and around here, that means that we are answering your burning questions. Now, I don't care if it's about a deal that you're working, just a question on how to organize something in your business, or if you just want to dish with your good real estate bestie. I am here to answer your questions. Now, if you have a question, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/ask and you will be able to leave a voicemail and I will answer your question on the podcast. Let's get into our question for today.
Hey, real estate bestie. This is Melissa from Oklahoma. And first off, I would like to thank you for dropping knowledge in so much nuggets. It's extremely valuable. And that leads me to, how do you show up professionally when things are falling apart personally? I don't know about you, but for me, life has been lifing. And when family, work, and even just, navigating through grief, I have watched you stay committed and dedicated, and you continue to show up no matter what. So, share with us, share with me, what are some of your gold nuggets to help me get back on track? Signing off, your bestie.
Hey, Melissa. Thank you so much for your question because you are right, child. Life be lifing. I really want to be careful about how I answer this because it's a twofold answer, like most things, right? It's not just black and white. But first of all, I just want to say that I'm empathetic. And I had a reel, not a reel, but a meme that I put up on my social media sometime last year. And it resonated with me so much because it said, do you know who's going through something? And then it said, literally everyone. So be kind. And I bring this up because, sometimes, because again, we live in this world where everyone is showing their highlight reels and sometimes it looks like, okay, am I the only one who is going through? And the reality is that everyone is going through something. And, for some of us, it can be grief. For some of us, it can be, just challenges with life. Some of us health challenges. Some of us, just trying to figure out where we belong in this space. And that mental weight can feel overwhelming. And then you just add in everything else we're supposed to be on top of being a realtor, a friend, a daughter, a sister, a mom, a wife, exec if you are in your other career, or I don't care what you're doing, like it can just be a lot. So the big thing that I want to say is that life does be lifing, right? But we for sure are in a business where we are expected to show up. But some days that's just more difficult than others. And I'm really taking myself back to this time last year. And I've shared on previous podcasts, and I have to look it up. But there's a podcast where I told y'all all about, me getting fired in real estate. And I'm going to look for that and share it with you. But I got fired twice, actually, if I'm being honest. And it really came down to the fact that I needed to take time off. My mom had passed away, and, I definitely was grieving, but I definitely was trying to move at the same pace in which I moved before this truly traumatic thing happened in my life. And it was just no dice, right? It was just no good. And it actually took me having a conversation with a real estate bestie, Chauncey Pham. I don't know if you all know who Chauncey Pham is. She's one of the stars of Zombie Flipping Dallas. She's an EXP, just bad. She's a bad bee. But Chauncey and I came into the business around the same time and develop relationship with each other long before, business was taken off for either one of us. And she's definitely has been a voice of reason for me. And I talked to Chauncey and I was just like, I'm just trying to figure out, because at this time I was doing courses and I had my clients and, I had just started my team and I felt like I had so many people depending on me. But on the inside, I was literally just falling apart and it was hard to put one foot in front of the other. And I just said to her, when you have all of these responsibilities, how do you show up when you just don't have it in you? Like when you just feel like you're going to break, what do? And Chauncey told me, she said, you stop. And she was like, look, let me tell you something. All this stuff, like, you have built an amazing business. And let me just back up. Even if I hadn't built an amazing business, right? I had the capabilities, I had the know-all to know how to do it and what to do. And you're not just being lazy, sis. You are truly going through a very, very hard time. So you need to stop, and you need to press the pause button. You put your people in place, so that everything does not fall completely apart, and you take that time. And I understand that as I'm sharing this, like, my business was already up and moving. So I did already have, transaction coordinator. I had people that could show, but there were certain things in my business that my team was not trained on quite yet. And I had to make some very difficult decisions. I remember somebody reaching out to me for a listing, and I just did, a listing was too important to just fumble, and my teammates weren't quite ready to handle that with me being 100% off right now. So I had to tell the client, like, look, this is what I'm needing to do. I'm taking some time off to grieve and heal. And this is when I expect to be back to work. And if I'm not back at that time, I do have amazing agents. I have an amazing agent network that I would love to connect you with, right? And I had to be honest with myself, and give myself that time. So I do think there are some areas in life where life is life, and to the point where you have to stop. And I wasn't worried about, I wasn't worried about YouTube. I was worried about, now I will say that some of the things that I do, this is why there is a gift in batch producing and batch recording. So I did have some things that even when I took some time away, I was still quote unquote able to show up, even though I wasn't actually showing up. Like, I stopped showing up on Instagram stories, and I just literally did what I had to do, right? I literally just took the calls and worked the deals that were right in front of me, because I needed to give myself time. But that was definitely when life was dishing me, it just kind of was stopping me. But then here's the flip side. Now, fast forward to a year later, and life is still life. And my dad was recently diagnosed with dementia, and that is just presenting a different set of challenges that look completely different from my mom passing away. But I don't want to say I don't have the luxury, but it's not to the point where I need to completely slow down. But there are some days where the weight of everything that I'm working through just feels heavy. So again, that's where time blocking is clutch, because time block in a way where I am making sure, like, I know the things that are going to move the needle in my business. And a lot of times the things that will move the needle in my business do not take 40 hours a week, right? It just takes some really focused blocks of time, a few hours a week, to really move the needle in my business. So I will make sure that I am focused, I'm locked and loaded for that short amount of time. And then I already know, because of the way I have blocked my life, that, okay, Rosemary, you get in there and you give it this 60, this 90 minutes, and you be consistent with how you're showing up. Now you don't have to feel guilt for then blocking the time that you need to, whether that's tend to my dad, whether it's book a day at the spa for my own mental health, whether it's hanging out at the pool or hanging with my family. That piece of knowing how to tell my time where to go, y'all, literally has been, a game changer. I don't want to say it's a savior. Jesus is my only savior, but it has definitely been a game changer in my life. And it helps me not to be balanced, because remember, if something is balanced, it's not moving. I want to always be in motion, but it helps me to create rhythms in my life where there is not just a rhythm for work, and there's not just a rhythm for producing or creating, but there's also a rhythm for rest. There's a rhythm for grief. There's a rhythm for problem solving. There's a rhythm for thinking. There's a rhythm for connection time with my family. And because I have continued to teach myself how to do that, then I get to make space for what I need to make space for. So for you all, it looks like a lot of times that I'm continuing to show up, and I do. Like, I really enjoy what I do and I enjoy showing up, but I get to make space and I get to plan in a way that when I don't feel like showing up or I don't have the capacity to show up, then I still can do that. And the same thing with my business as it relates to my clients, right? Just having rhythms. I have things in place where they know when and where to expect me. And, it just never feels like, well, at least I hope it never feels like we're missing a beat. And then also, I'll tell you this, having the right people in place, right? So, hire a transaction coordinator so that you are not glued to doing those administrative skills. If you need to have a showing assistant, or you're partnered with another agent, or you're part of a team where you all can work together, because let me tell you something, a lot of people get so hung up on the money part, but there is nothing like your time. I was in a mastermind yesterday with another business owner. He has a completely different business. He's a chiropractor. And he made a statement that resonated with me. He said, when I bring somebody on to my business, like another doctor to serve clients, they need to come with either one of two skill sets, right? They need to be able to either produce more income for the business, or they need to be able to produce more time for me, meaning that they can take some of my workload off, so that now their value that they're bringing to me is allowing me the time and space to just be, right? And not at the sacrifice of the business. So those are just some things to think about. I am sending you, Melissa, and every other bestie who is just like, life is life, and I just don't know what to do. Look, girl, get out there when you can, and when you really need to rest, go ahead and sit down, because if you don't sit down, life will sit you down. And if you are interested in what that time blocking course looks like, it's available. You can go get it right now at rosemarylewis.com/time, where I just take you through 3 modules of just really understanding what time blocking is, understanding how to time block for your life, not just your business, and to really put a plan in action so that this habit that you will create will support you, especially when life be lifing. So thanks so much for your question. Besties, if this episode resonated with you in any way, do me a favor, leave a 5-star review. And could you just go into the review and just type a couple words just about what this community of real estate besties means to you? It would mean the world to me, but also in the podcasting world, what that will do is that it will continue to put our podcast in front of the people who need to see it, which is our real estate besties all over, not just the country, but all over the world. So I love you so much. If no one has told you that today, let me be the first to tell you that you are loved, you are valued, and even when life is lifing, there is so much purpose and opportunity for your life. So love y'all. Talk to you soon.